We have to change from doubter to believer.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome to DTBTV. I'm just going to preview the game against Manchester United on Sunday, and we'll see what everybody thinks about it and what their feelings are. Now, it's been a difficult week or few weeks for us, and let's hope that things start changing for the better over the next 24 hours, basically. So what I'd like to do is discuss a little bit of news coming from the city, as I always do, via the Echo. And also, I'd like to just discuss a little things that are going on, around various groups and that at the moment. And, so the subjects are going to be what I go through slowly. So basically, let's start off with a hello from me. Obviously, this is going to be my only video tonight. And then tomorrow I'll do two, one in the morning, one in the afternoon, and then obviously match day live tomorrow at 5 o'clock. So it'd be really nice if we could get a massive win tomorrow against the Manx, because I think it's something we just need. I just think the whole fan base needs a lift. I think what it is you get, all right, Jason, I think you get a little bit complacent as a supporter sometimes, but when you start winning and winning and winning and winning and winning like we were, even though the reaction has been shocking, to be honest with you. I mean, I can't believe it. I cannot believe it. I mean, at first you start thinking it's just trolls. It's the trolls that are trying to wind all the Liverpool fans up. But I've actually gone and looked at some of the people that are saying these things, and they are genuine Liverpool fans. And I'm lost for words in a kind of a weird way. And a few people have mentioned on this group today, any supporters allowed an opinion. Well, yeah, but you've got to have a little bit of credit to that opinion. You've got to have a little bit of know-how. How can anybody say that Jurgen Klopp has lost the dressing room? How can anybody say that our owners need to go? Because that isn't an opinion. That is pure lunacy. It's lunacy. 30 years it took us to win the bloody league. 30 years. We won it with the two people or two sort of subjects that these people want to remove from the club. They want to remove the man that brought us our first league title in 30 years, and they want the owners to go as well. Now, is John W. Henry Mike Astley? He's not. Is John W. Henry the guy that owns Arsenal, who has never been to watch bloody Arsenal at the Emirates? Never. No, he's not. I live on Anfield Road, right? I can tell you what FSG have done for this football club, because I see it out my window every day. Anfield was 20 years behind Manchester United, right? Their ground held 76,000, ours held 44, right? Just bringing that stadium up from 44,000 to 54 is 10,000 more seats. 10,000 more seats is the reason why we could pay the wages for people like Virgil van Dijk, Mohamed Salah and all this, right? And then this stupidity is what winds me up. Who do you think we are? Do you know Aston Villa's owner? Yeah, Aston Villa's owner is a billionaire, right? Like John W. Henry, but John W. Henry's a billionaire because of all the franchises he's got, like the Red Sox and, his company, his businesses in Boston, right? Learn your facts, right? Aston Villa, the guy is worth 8 billion, right? John W. Henry's worth 1.2, right? So Aston Villa's owner is worth £7 billion more than ours, right? And the thing is, right, what I don't get is, yeah, okay, people say they're in it for the money. Nonsense. The main stand, they didn't take a penny back for that. I think they've just started taking money back before the pandemic. I think they just started taking money back then. They didn't even take, and it was an interest-free loan. Buying the building the new stand, the club didn't have to pay for afterwards. There was no, FSG could have said, oh, by the way, we're going to build the new main stand. We want the £100 million we're lending you for it back. We want a further 100 million over the course of the lifespan of that stand. Nobody would have batted an eyelid, because they'd have thought, well, hang about, if they didn't lend us the money, then we wouldn't have had this new stand. So yeah, but they didn't. They just said, we'll pay exactly what it's got. And a lot of people are getting Klopp's words mixed up. Klopp didn't say that. He didn't say that he wants players, and FSG is saying no. He understands better than anybody the situation the pandemic has put Liverpool Football Club in, right? What he's saying is, he's never been in charge of saying, I want this person, I want that person. It's the same as when he was at Dortmund. Because every football club, you have a yes or a no answer, right? The manager doesn't just say, by the way, I want him, sign him now, right? Even Ferguson had to sometimes miss out on players. This is what people don't understand, right? He's saying that, okay, he wants to play a brim, just the same as us. Klopp's a football fan as well as a manager, and he's a manager, and all managers want signings. If he was angry that FSG were denying him the right to sign someone in this January window, like Rafa, he would publicly announce the fact that he's not happy and that Liverpool can't win this or can't win that, right? And he'd leave. He'd just go. Klopp would go. He wouldn't sign another contract. He absolutely loves our owners. Anybody that researches Liverpool Football Club like we do will know that. John W. Henry stands outside the home changing room with respect for Klopp. He even calls Klopp boss and doesn't even intrude in that domain. Doesn't go in the changing room. Doesn't undermine. You've got owners that will walk in there and go, he shouldn't be playing, he shouldn't be playing. He doesn't even do that, right? Okay, I don't agree with a lot of things that FSG have done. One, the prices of the bloody merchandise in the shop are an absolute disgrace. I used to get every tracksuit every year. I used to get every stadium coat every year. Now you're looking at £180 for a tracksuit, £180 for a jacket, £100 for a pair of trainers, and £70, £80, £90 up to £100 for the shirts. It's a disgrace. But you know what? It ain't about what they sell for, because you know at the end of the day you can get them cheaper elsewhere. And I won't go to that football club anymore. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not buying from that shop at that price. No chance. Are they bothered? No, because they have millions and millions of fans around the world. Some can afford to buy stuff out the shop all the time. I've got 4 children at the end of the day. I'm not spending £200 on a tracksuit. Not in a million years. So I ain't FSG's biggest fan. But what I am is I'm a realist, and I'm also somebody that appreciates where we were. I remember sitting in my house watching that famous moment when John W. Henry came out of court and his little smiley face, you know, as if to say, I've just got Liverpool out of shit. And he did, right? He brought us in Brendan Rodgers, who was a good young manager. He gave a young manager a chance. All right, didn't work out. Brendan gave it everything, didn't win anything. All right. He then gave Roy Hodgson a chance, fair enough. He learnt from that, sacked him straight away, sacked Rodgers straight away. He then gave King Kenny his year. King Kenny said even the way he dealt with his sack, and I read a comment today from somebody on the group saying that the way he's treated all the managers has been a disgrace. Is that some kind of joke? He gave Kenny Dalglish £9 million, and Dalglish said that the way that Liverpool had dealt with him was absolutely amicable and respectful, right? And the fact is, after Dalglish, after Dalglish went, that was it. We moved on, and that's the thing. And this is what people have got to start realising, right? Is this not good for the club? I'm not even getting like my normal high rate videos, because I've looked at some of my videos back and I've come across quite aggressive. It's just passion. I don't mean to come across like that. But one thing I will say is this, right? And it's really important. Watch Arsenal Fan TV. I watch it all the time, just for a laugh. It's embarrassing, and their fan base is split down the middle, and it's got since Arsenal TV's got really big, it's given these platforms for idiots, for people that literally destroy the confidence of that football club and their staff and their players. Now, I have read statements from Arsenal players that state that they have lost confidence to play football based on what they see and hear on social media, and Arsenal TV are one of the biggest killers to that football club, and they get away with it. And if Liverpool allow fans to get in and get that big, then we could be just like them. And what I don't get is this: I could understand frustration if this was a fully fit Liverpool squad with Virgil van Dijk, with Joe Gomez, with no COVID, with the fans in the stadium, and Klopp's like, and the results. But even the results are not that bad. Most of them are draws. I looked at the league table. We've lost 2 games. 2. Right? Man United are just on a little bit of a good look at the moment. I know. I watched the game the other night when they played Burnley. Right? Luke Shaw should have been sent off for a tackle that could have broke the lad's leg. Eric Bailey, whatever his name is, chests it by accident, and it should have been an own goal, and it just drifts past that post. Little things like that are just working out at the moment. It's called a cycle. Sometimes luck goes for you, sometimes it goes against you, right? Have we been beaten 6-1 at Anfield this season? No, we haven't. Man United have. Are we at the Champions League? No, Man United are. You know, have we dropped down to 16th in the league? Then I can understand people saying Klopp's lost the dressing room, even though that'd still be ridiculous. No, we're still in the top 4. We're 6 points behind, right? And the worst thing about it is, the confidence of the players has gone. Well, no wonder, because half of the fan base are now saying that, you know, they're gone. The only person I've had a problem with is Salah. And my problem is, the Egyptian teammate coming out saying what he said was infuriating, because it's obviously something in it. And I'll say this again, and I've said it before. If Barcelona had any money, which they haven't, because that's why they had to get Suarez off their books, right? If Barcelona had any money, they'd have come in for Wijnaldum, right? And he would have gone. It's as simple as that. If Real Madrid had any money now and they bid for Salah, it's okay Salah saying I want to stay, but it's down to the club. Again, people read into that like Salah wants to stay. No, Salah's been quite clever. What he's saying is I would like to stay. It's dead easy to say that, because at the moment he's probably getting told by his agent, listen mate, no, but Liverpool want £150 million for you, right? And nobody could afford that. So more or less you might have to stay here for maybe another year, maybe another 18 months, and then your price will drop down and then you'll go, right? So he's going to say, I want to stay, because if he's going to be here another 12 to 18 months, then he's going to want and it's a nice peaceful ride with the fans. Don't listen to half the shit the players come out with, because a lot of them, once they make their mind up, then I asked, learn from it. Learn from Philip Coutinho. Learn from Fernando Torres. Learn from Luis Suarez. When their mind is made up, it's made up. And look at Fernando Torres' performance the minute he decided he didn't want to be there anymore. They had dropped, just like Mohamed Salah's, just like Philip Coutinho's. Although Philip gave us quite a bit in the games, but then he started feigning injury. So, again, I look at it like this, right? We've got probably 12 to 18 months left now of that front three, really, of them being at the level they've been at the last couple of years. They can get back to that level, but I mean, I don't think we've got longer than 2 years max. So we need to start lining up, and I've said this, the next pieces of the jigsaw up front. And in my opinion, I don't want to lose Sadio Mane, because I absolutely love the man. Every time he goes out on that pitch, you always know what you're going to get from Sadio. Bobby is Bobby. I mean, you can have the odd great game, we can link up and play. It might just get better. I think he needs the fans more than any of our front three. Salah, if he carries on playing like this, then there's no choice. And it maybe he's saying it's down to the club, because maybe the club are waiting for that offer to do what I'm saying now, which is go and get the next Mohamed Salah, go and get the next Sadio Mane to come in. And this is what I'm trying to say. We haven't got the money to go and get that person now. But the FSG model is you don't overspend. Right, what you don't realise is Leeds did that. Leeds did what all the supporters that have been screaming FSG out over the last 24 hours. They tried to please their supporters with buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that. They nearly went, well, they did go bust more or less, and they dropped down and get back in the Premier League for 13 years. Don't think Liverpool are above that. I know we probably are in terms of our worldwide fan base, and that's probably why we get away with it, the fans. But FSG are proud businessmen that will not want Liverpool leaking money. That'll break John W. Henry's heart that he's lost 45 million, because he's a successful businessman, and Liverpool is a business. So to me, we have to all stick together now, right? All stick together, right? Stop worrying about politics off the pitch. Stop worrying about fucking Klopp. Let him do his job. He's the best manager we've ever, in my lifetime, he's the best manager. You know, Dalglish was only here for a few months, and Dalglish was better in the 80s. But what I'm trying to say to you is the best manager we've had, and he's so relaxed about everything. He doesn't throw his teddies out his pram, even after the game against Burnley. He took it like a man. He took responsibility like a man, and he blamed himself to take the pressure off his players. Try watching Frank Lampard after a game. He's telling all of his players they're a load of shit and it's their fault. No wonder Chelsea can't win a game. So what I'm trying to say to you is Klopp will sort this out. And he's clever. He's clever with what he comes out with. Even what he said to us. To get us believing again. That little thing he put up where he said, you know, for those who believe, welcome to my club. And for those who don't, there's nothing I can do for you. That's him again doing what he did in his early years at Liverpool. He's trying to unite us as a fan base again to keep believing. What is the point in going through what we have just gone through? Europa League final defeats, League Cup final defeats, Champions League final heartbreak, to then go and win the Champions League, the Premier League, the Super Cup, the World Cup. And then, because we've bloody lost 2 games and drawn a few, right, and we're only 6 points off top of the league, right, and all of a sudden it's a crisis with 19 games left. I can't even believe I'm having to do videos like this to explain that. It's ridiculous. 19 games left, half a season. You know, and the worst thing is we've got to play all the teams above us, you know, one more time. We've got to play all of them above us again. So it can only take Man City to play Man United one weekend and they draw. We win. There you go. There you go. It's 4 points. And then when we play whoever's top, say we play Man City 2 weeks later, beat them, it's 1 point. I can't understand why there's dramatic drama. You can see videos right now of Gomez and Van Dijk doing their best to get back. You know, I just don't see it. I don't understand it, right? Every top football club has a bad run. It only takes something to spark it. And I think tomorrow could do that. If we go to Old Trafford tomorrow and win comfortably, and the front three get a couple of goals, watch us go into the next match flying. So all I'm saying is keep the faith, and we can make it. That's my last point about that. Anyway, I'm just going to read out this that I just found on the Echo. It's quite interesting. And it's an insight into what people are writing about. So just listen to this. Liverpool are virtually unrecognisable from the team Jurgen Klopp inherited in October 2015. Sure, captain Jordan Henderson and vice captain James Milner remain on the books, along with Roberto Firmino, Divock Origi and Joe Gomez. But the Reds' swift transition to first European and the Premier League champions has been nothing short of remarkable. Re-established as the European heavyweights under the German, supporters have been spoilt in recent years as he built one of the greatest sides Anfield has ever witnessed. Just listen to that bit there. Re-established as European heavyweights under the Germans, the supporters have been spoilt in recent years as he has built one of the greatest Anfield sides ever witnessed. Right? And while a 5-game winless run in the Premier League with Liverpool goalless in the last 4 might on the surface undermine such positive prowess, the fact that such a feeling is now so rare only highlights further the job that Jurgen Klopp has done on Merseyside since first joining the club. The Reds' dominance last season, destroying virtually every side that stood before them to win the Premier League title with a record points total, was extraordinary as a team after team struggled to stop them. Even when not at their best, Klopp's men found a way to win, to grind out victory last season as they won 14 matches by a single goal and picked up 21 points in the final 20 minutes of matches, scoring 10 winners and 1 equaliser. Nicknamed the mentality monsters by their manager, such traits have deserted them in recent weeks as Liverpool sacrificed top spot in the Premier League with ease at time when the title looked like theirs to lose. Since thrashing Crystal Palace 7-0 last month, the Reds have scored just once from their last 89 shots in the Premier League. For so long, consistently consistent, they look devoid of confidence as they struggle to break down stubborn defences and continue to wonder where on earth their next goal will come from. The two extremes are worlds apart, yet a combination of consistently inconsistent. Since Klopp inherited back in 2015, they could only finish 8th in the table that season. From the historic 4-3 victory over Borussia Dortmund and a demolition of Manchester City at the Etihad to throwing away victory in Seville in the Europa League final and getting rolled over by Watford, it was certainly a roller coaster ride at first in the campaign for the German. In a season which saw his side suffer 2 cup final defeats, such erratic performances amidst a litter of increasingly encouraging displays highlighted the difference Klopp had already started to make, as well as hard work that lay ahead. After sampling the highest of highs in the past 2.5 seasons, spoilt fans, I love how it keeps reminding us about that, Spoilt fans could be forgiven for not fully remembering the depths of which their side has climbed. So basically, it's been that much of a whirlwind, you're forgetting just how big this has actually become and how remarkable this squad and players are. While now temporarily derailed, having fought so hard to shed such former inconsistencies, Klopp should look back to the opening months at Liverpool for inspiration and embrace his side's origins when trying to revitalise his defanged champions. After all, with the Reds suddenly hopelessly predictable, is what they're lacking not little rock and roll chaos. While Dejan Lovren's 90th minute over Dortmund in April 2015 will never be forgotten on Merseyside, his infamous last-gap victory over 3 months prior that emphasises what they need to discover most in rough and tumble, that is the Premier League and football. It was on this day in 2016 that Klopp's Liverpool clinched an astonishing 5-4 victory over Norwich in one of the most emotional Premier League encounters to date. On paper, such a result against a side that would end the season suffering relegation is not one that should be celebrated 5 years on, but it is the one the German will never forget. Coming in the middle of a run which saw them win just 3 of the 12 matches in all competitions, and off the back of a 3-game winless run in the Premier League following a home defeat to Man United and the Liverpool side in 2015-16, was not one for the purists. Yet so predictably unpredictable you could never write them off and never knew when they were going to do next. In truth, neither did they. Leading through a Roberto Firmino sliced effort in the opening 20 minutes, any hopes of routine victory over the struggling Canaries were quickly extinguished as a shambolic defending McCartney, a cheap equaliser in the imaginary backheel. Former Everton man Stephen Naismith fired his side ahead as the Red defenders watched aimlessly as he ran into the box before some moronic tackling from Moreno. Yeah, moronic tackling. That's all Moreno ever did. Yet little over 90 seconds later, Jordan Henderson has halved the deficit with his first time half volley before Firmino levelled the scores with a deft poke to Adam Lallana's cross. James Milner then ran onto a weak defensive back pass to fire Liverpool back ahead, but there was still 2 late twists in Norfolk. With victory almost in sight since stoppage time, the Reds again looked to have surrendered all 3 points when Boasang levered home from outside the box. However, such scenes paled in the comparison to Liverpool's own celebrations in the final minute as they finally clinched victory thanks to a scruffy Lallana volley. Klopp later in a new pair of sunglasses thanks to an excited Benteke after the German raced down the touchline to celebrate that moment. However, despite his delight in the immediate aftermath and his side collecting maximum points, he was well aware of his side's failings when speaking after the final whistle. At the end, if you win 5-4, it's a funny story, but of course it's not that funny and we have to solve it, he admitted. I am not happy with the situation for sure. Such a back and forth encounter in exactly the sort of performance Klopp has thrived to steer his all-conquering Reds away from in years that have followed. But at a time when they can't buy a goal, for love nor money, never mind a win, Liverpool need to go back to basics where their seemingly flawless tactics now are coming unstuck. Now 6 points behind leaders Manchester United, with Man City able to leapfrog them, their rivals can extend extend the Reds' gap to the furthermore. Liverpool could be as low as 7th after the next round of Premier League fixtures. It will not be their Premier League and Champions League winners' medals that will inspire them back to the best in the recent weeks, but rather their origins and collective journey just to fight for a place at the table. After all, Klopp's men are not all conquering side of last anymore. Admittedly, any revival might come too late to defend their title, which their manager conceding they face a battle to qualify for the Champions League. But at a time when they need a spark to light their title chasing fire, throw in a little of old school Liverpool chaos and who knows what could happen. That's a fantastic read, that, and it's true. We need to get back to how we used to be. Attack, go for it, don't worry about conceding sometimes, go all out, and don't, I think because we've lost our defence, I think we're so worried about back behind us. Go back to the heavy metal, all-out attack formation football, in my opinion, to give it a chance and give it a good go. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that video. You'll never walk alone.